Oh, hi. Um, Another random video. I think for me, but okay. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of video on empathy and empaths based on like natural abilities we may possess to help each other. So like kind of thinking about it, and like if on this planet, right, bees are able to hear the queen and hear each other's thoughts and send out and this or that, which goes in other kind of crazy ways as well. So I don't think it's too far fetched to think humans can sense emotions, because on a base level, we all feel each other's emotions on some level. That's why we recognize and understand someone else's pain. And it's really only psychopaths think it's a magical superpower, because we all experience each other's pain and we know when someone's sad or happy. Sometimes like you can recognize signs, yes, but that in some way is kind of like how we recognize pain. It's only really psychopaths or sociopaths who think that knowing someone else is in pain is some kind of big magical superpower. Like as soon as they say, someone says, I feel their sad, I feel your sadness or something, and someone's like thinks it has superpowers and magic and this or that, I'm pretty sure everyone knows they're a psychopath then and there, because those are the only ones actually not capable of that. But yeah, this is just a little bit on some spiritual one. I've been searching this or that because I keep, a couple of years ago, in the last couple of years, some recently, some not so recently, not really much anymore, but I've had a lot of random videos come on my screen about some empaths and this or that, which I've been listening to and watching. I don't know if it's all the kinds, because I wrote a big ass list of them over here or there, which is in one of these fucking background books over there. But yeah. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is the Hyoko empath. While searching this, I said apparently some people from certain areas says using that word can be apparently some kind of misconduct to them or rude because you're not traditionally of their people. So I'm just going to call it like mirror empaths, or a virtuous empath, an empath of virtue, or um a reflective empath or something, in case, because don't want to insult anyone, because it's a naturally occurring thing everywhere. They just know how to recognize it. Um, yeah. So basically, the Hyoka empath, or this empath, of this mirror empath, or this reflective empath, or this virtuous empath, an empath of your virtues, um, acts kind of like a mirror. So like, you look into a mirror or you look into a phone screen and you see yourself. Um, Basically, what it kind of means is you look at this person and you see yourself. I've said this in a lot of videos because it's kind of interesting. I'm sure a lot of people out there identify with this as well. But someone might look at you and they say, "I think you're this, I think you're that," but you think they're this and you think they're that, which can be like just people snickering and arguing, yes. But it can also be because someone is this kind of virtuous empath, or empath of virtues. So when you look at this person, a lot of people might see different things and like, I thought they're this, I thought they're this, which they could even get a little bit of a debate on. So when you look at this person, you see yourself, you see your strength, you see your own strengths, your own weaknesses, you see things about yourself you know or you don't know, you accept or you don't accept about yourself, things you need to accept or you need to know as well. Um, Apparently, some of these Hyoka empaths can be a little bit blunt. Some people consider them to be rude or a little bit of an asshole. To be rude, because they can be quite blunt on the truth, because they're there to heal, but they're gonna fucking rip the thorn out of the wound if they have to save a life. They're not gonna care about a little bit of pain to save someone else's mind or life in the long run, you know what I mean? So yeah, someone might feel uncomfortable with these truths that they hide, um or maybe uncomfortable or awkward around them because of the truths that they hide or the truths they're denying about themselves. And apparently these people don't have to fit into norms or expectations. They just do whatever they want to or need to. So they might be very unsuspected or unsuspecting, or people don't realize, or they surprise a lot of people with responses or actions of this and that. I need to buy pens that don't run out so quickly. Like, this little thing made most of the pen run out. I love pink, it's my favorite color. Yeah. So I've read online, or but I guess you could say heard rumors, because I read it online, right? Did I read rumor? Did I hear a rumor, or did I see a rumor? It's kind of weird. But apparently, some of these people can absorb pain and negative energy from other people. I'm not talking about fairies who do this to change out someone's life and steal someone's life from them, which is usually displayed as black veins and shit like that, which they would traditionally used as to absorb someone's pain and memories or this or that and change it out. Which is weird because I only really know about knowledge demons doing that as like telepathy, but when they remember what they're seeing in your mind, the person forgets, so they're like, no, I didn't do that. Yeah, and they can absorb this negativity and turn it into positive energy, or they're kind of like pain eaters. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate for the fairy one, but I've heard that there are fairies that can try to replace your life. They gain your pain and memories and think they're you, and or might not think they're you, and they try to change out or replace their life for you, and that's how some fairies would make changelings or do a changeling. Um, these people can often be seen challenging what you know as a normal in society. Like, to me, that's like, money, the way we have to act or be a certain way to fit in society, essentially. Because I'm like, well, you say this, but who said that? And they're like, well, they said that. And their parents said that. And they're like, who said that? Their parents said that. And then you go back enough generations and someone just decided, I want everyone to be this way, so why do we all have to be this way? Don't rape, don't murder, because I'm not okay with that. Well, I mean, I'm not you. I can't exactly tell you what to do. I can only suggest or be like, you should. But as long as it's not that shit, as long as it's not like rape or murder, or poisoning people, or abuse, then who would really care so much? You know what I mean? Why does it actually have to be such a big deal if someone acts or walks or talks slightly differently? It just is. Even I've noticed, like, some people from gangs, because Jamaican people have like marijuana as part of spiritual, cultural, religious heritages and stuff like that. Some of the words they use, people have started using them because these people were getting weed, and like, how do these people get all the weed freely? Because it was a legal thing for them as a spiritual thing. So people started using, adapting a few Jamaican words into lingo, which is some people apparently like associate with derogatory ways or words or degenerates, but some of that is just like if an Italian person or an Asian person was going to say like a couple of things in their language every so often when they hear this or that. And some people might even try to make people not remember or forget this because they could have just been brought up with those words and they knew it was like Jamaican, not like a whole gangster thing or like a derogatory thing or this or that. And some people think some people pretend to be this or that, but actually, it's just because they could be from a Jamaican household or descent or background, when some people associate it with gangs, but some of these words that are associated with gangsters are from other languages because they could smoke marijuana or weed legally, so people were pretending to be like them or like that so they could try to get some free weed out of it. When some people know this. Spiritual healers of virtue, growth, and oneself. So yeah, so kind of like these empathic mirrors that show you yourself or your soul or your true self or your truth, what you are, what you should be, what you deny. So when you look at them, you see the self. Some people might be these people, kind of like the lightning rod theory. I don't know if it is the same thing because those are supposed to more absorb the negative energy and turn it into positive energy for family, but doesn't that make sense? So I guess if a very good being is looking at this person, they're going to be like, oh my god, that's the goodest and bestest, brightest person ever. And if an evil person's looking at or inside of this person or their mind, they're going to be like, oh my god, it's the most evilest, darkest mastermind out there. But actually that's because they are. Oh yeah, so some people in life could be like the biatch that thinks she's like me, or they think they're like us, or they think they're one of us, or they think they're this or that. Although they could be like that, they could be similar. When you look at this person, you see yourself, your soul. You might even see how strong you really are in comparison to this situation. You could see yourself, you could see your weaknesses and strengths in this person too. So you look at this person and you might instantly say, well, that person's strong, that person's not as strong as they think. But because of the empathic heroic ability, you're seeing yourself in this situation as well. Or some people could say like it thinks it's like us, or it acts like it's so much better than everyone else. But sure, some people do because some people think that. But if they don't think that, they might very well be a mirror empath or heroic empath because they're like showing you what you are denying about yourself, your actions. It can even be down to something such as intelligence, strength, opinions, how other people feel about you right now, what you're doing. I wrote this over this thing because I did a funny video the other day. I tried to do a funny video. I haven't posted it on my YouTube. Not that anyone will really see it, but I was just going to do that anyway. So I searched into the word because I thought it was quite interesting. The term Hioka comes from the, forgive me if I don't say this correctly, but the Lakotsiaks, something, Lakotasioux or T. And its usage outside of this place may be a cultural misconduct, so that's why I'm choosing to call it the mirror empath or the reflective empath. It's just like the words I found for this after being shown, or like the virtuous empath, the empath of virtues. And its usage outside may be seen as a cultural misconduct, although it's a naturally occurring instance, and it may be reflective empaths of virtues, or empath of the self as well. So self-empaths and self-empathetic people. In relation to harmony healers, because I got introduced to this harmony healer idea. It's supposed to be like this, kind of like this wavy energy hand thing, which is to bring harmony to the chaos. And some of these people can be blamed for causing the chaos, when actually they were the harmonious ones there to end it. And people were blaming them or thinking this person was the chaos, but actually they were just one of the only people that was not affected by it in this situation, so they can all turn on this person because they blame them for the chaos, but actually they were the one who remained unaffected because they were there to heal it or end it as well. And yeah, this person can transmute chaos and pain into healing and harmony, and they're kind of like healers of harmony, which is kind of cool. I don't know if that relates to that, but I've seen some videos of them being related together. I saw one of those. It's supposed to be something to do, like, I can't really do it, but they're supposed to be like this little energy, this wavy energy that some can perceive and some others can't. Even something about walking directly into the sunlight, which sucks, but yeah. Oh yes, I saw some words calling, so I don't know if this makes it a good or a bad thing, or if they're pretending to be the same thing, or if they are the same thing, but, I saw some words saying, the other thing might mean mirror trickster, so I translate that as being a snake being. Whether these are the virtue empaths or the mirror tricksters, whether they're the same or the different thing in this sense or life, so I don't know particularly if it is the same thing or not, but yeah. So because a snake will also learn to mirror something or someone, so when you move this way they move that way. You know how a snake moves. Snakes will mirror something if it's their prey, or if they have to target, or if they're ready to defend themselves. They will mirror its motions and gestures and movements as well. So I don't know what that means, because I know there's apparently some places have legends of good snakes, some legends have places of bad snakes. But yeah. Drew a little thumb thing. Can't really see it, can you? I like doodling. But yeah. So I don't really know if that relates anything to do with the Kundalini energy, because a couple of years ago it was just like this new word that was introduced to me, Kundalinis, which is like Link in Zelda is a Kundalini / Konkori, who are known for being stockier beings. That's why he wasn't skinny like the Forest Elf Zelda. Oh yes, and these empaths of virtues may be known to use a thing such as humor, irony, joy, contradiction, or blunt honesty. Maybe even at unexpected or random times, like why, to show the truth or heal, because it's kind of like, if this is like an evil referee in your mind of corruption, they'd rather just like get rid of the water and make you start again than let you continue down an evil path. Because if you're going to be gentle and soothe and heal it, there's still that evil there, so you're best to just expose it and blow it open and make them realize the bad things going on, instead of just heal and nurture it to make it worse and bury deep down further along the line. So some of these people can be seen as blunt, but they use the truth to heal. They don't heal with deceit or deception. It can force you to look at yourself or what you must defeat in life, or in yourself or no. I mean, I'm not saying like on that fairy movie, The Watchers, where there's that blonde lady and Kira and stuff, and there's like a fairy, and she thinks she can kill a fairy, but then a fairy can turn into you with every single skill set you've got, so it'll basically be like going up against yourself. And there was that black lady. I think Kira might have been the black one. But she almost died and that blonde lady saved her. I can't remember. It's a very good movie. It shows more traditional fairies than the ones you see from the 80s versions of fairies, which I'm pretty sure in some laws says they ate the innocence of your children, and they looked at them and like, oh my god, they're so innocent, they remind me of my children. Why aren't you like that anymore? It's like, because they just ate their innocence. Yeah. But I might be wrong. That was just a random ass fear I had. Fairies are traditionally evil because you see on some TV shows fairies are apparently associated with glitter. I don't think that's right from what I know or I learnt when I was younger. The glitter was just what the fairies were offered traditionally in exchange for witchcraft, so they had to give them their glitter every so often, and they had to keep making offerings to the fairies and doing glitter and this or that in exchange for fairies to give them magic in the glitter, but that could be taken away from them pretty quickly. There was a lot of them that tried to turn on the fairies and catch up one or two, but a lot of children just went missing, and fences and glitter everywhere. And, okay, so these mirror or emotional sacred empaths or virtue empaths may disrupt negative patterns or cycles, so they know how to fix themselves rather than just soothe it. Because there's no use putting a bandage on a wound if there's still like a poisons. If you got hit with a poison dart, there's no use to just putting a bandage on it. You got to rip that shit out. You got to apply a little bit of anesthetic and then bandage it up. Rather than to let the poison go further into their bones and their body and stuff. Yeah, so that's basically all the information I could find on it. I did not spend very long looking on it, honestly. I just kind of got a little bit of knowledge up here, but sometimes I have trouble verbalizing what's in my mind. Like, I can't always communicate what's in my mind properly. Yeah. We have emotional empaths. Those guys feel emotions. So, like, they feel what you feel emotionally, which is pretty cool. That's what stereotypical people think an empath is, what the most commonly depicted empath is. You have physical empaths who may feel someone else's pain. Someone else gets punched, their face hurts. It's, that can be a thing amongst empaths as well as other things like join things together in different ways, because empaths obviously can feel anyone's pains, but, there's other situations where someone might have any of these experienced. Floral empaths. This one's an interesting one. They feel the trees and the nature around them. So they can feel the grass, they can feel the trees, they can feel the wind blowing in through the trees. And when they feel these things, it's kind of like they can also tell if the tree is thirsty or hungry. So they're like, this tree is overfed, this tree is sick, this tree needs more water. So that's something else the floral empaths can do. Yeah. We have this next one. I didn't really see this on the list, but I've heard about it. A Primoise empath. They can feel things coming before they happen. So it's essentially like a feeling of, I just know something bad's going to happen. You've seen someone in something, a movie or a TV show, like, I just know something bad's going to happen. That's Primoise empathy. So they can feel something coming before it happened as well. I don't know how it contradicts with another one on this one I've got, but I will. So like a precognitive empath kind of thing, rather than being just precognitive. There's something that is kind of like categorized as a cognitive empath, who might see motives behind actions and actions behind motions. Obviously people can see verbal cues, and it's like I've seen this all before, so I know, but these people can physically sense there's something behind the motives that they're hiding. They can see through the masks of life and reality. There is also fauna empaths. They can feel the animals. I've heard some pretty weird stories online. Like, if that would be a very, very weird one to have, and a very weird one to have, because, like, someone could be weirdly looking at someone like, I want to lick your face. But don't think I'm crazy on this, but if you can sense an animal, you can sense the animal. If the dog wants to walk up and lick someone, the person that can sense the animal's emotions want to do the exact same fucking thing. I saw an example of this with talking to animals on a TV show called Supernatural, which is kind of just confirmation, because pretty much everything that I know and find to be interesting turns out to be right anyway. I'm not always right though. I'm wrong at least a lot of times. Like in maths. Anyway. There is a such thing as an evil empath. This one is quite unique and quite rare and quite powerful. Because although some people say because it's called an evil empath it must be evil, yet I don't know or think that is true. I could be wrong on this because I've been wrong before, but I'm not often wrong on these kind of things, but I could be. An evil empath can actually feel the evil actions. So they can sense, like, I can sense an evil within this girl. The TV show called Charmed, she's like, I can sense the evil in this one, or I can sense an evil growing or coming, and she ends up becoming a little bit overcome by evil. And that is what you call an evil empath. An evil empath can sense evil. I don't know why people assume just because it has the word evil and it has to be evil. I think if they're evil, but I guess you could get an evil empath, but the evil empath is most likely going to sense the good in someone so they can corrupt it. Whereas some of them may sense both things, because there's another kind on here I tried to put in that wasn't on the list that I know of, is one, I forget what I put down as a name for this because I don't know the actual name, I can't remember, but they can feel like the balance of someone's actions. So they can feel like the balance of the situation. They can feel like, I can feel that you've done this good things in life, and I can feel you've done these bad things in life, and I can see that you're heading towards a worse path or a better path. And they essentially just help these people swing back the scales into the order and the way it should be. We have intuitive empaths, who just know something, because that's weird, because I put it as a precognitive empath before, because I see it being named two things, but I think there's a difference. So I don't know if it's like one person knows something's going to happen, and one person just knows something is happening, or I don't know. I don't know the difference between that, but oh well. We have elemental empaths, so we're all familiar with elementals, right? And the elements. But elemental empaths can feel the elements, essentially. So, like a snake can sense fire, they can sense fire. Some of these people... Oh, that's one I didn't put in. I'm going to put that in there. Sorry. They can sense fire. They can sense hot and cold, because sure, we can feel and sense hot and cold, but elemental empaths can feel things from further away. So basically they can just feel the elements around them on a level other people don't feel as well. Yeah, which reminds me of environmental empaths. I knew I was forgetting a couple of kinds, but an environmental empath can sense the environment or the climate around them. So, like, they can sense the rain incoming, which I'm not sure if elemental empaths can do too. They can sense that there's going to be a storm on the horizon or coming. They can sense all this or that. Some people know just by looking at the sky. Some people know by feeling it. Some people can feel the wind, and the wind's telling them this or that. I don't know if that's like a warning or an omen, or if they're just feeling it. Because, omens come to warn and protect, apparently. They will protect people or warn people. You have, like, energy empaths as well. They can sense energy. So, like, some empaths in the world can sense, they can sense, like, I don't know if they can sense the physical energy in a phone or the power, but, they can sense, like, the spiritual energy and stuff. I think it might be put in later as a spiritual empath, because I saw it on a list rather than just knowing it's a thing. So imagine, like, There's one of these that can sense people's intentions as well. I don't know if I said that already. But some can sense intentions or your intentions with something. So someone can look at you and sense, like, I know you have bad intentions or good intentions. I can see through your Mars child. Yeah. But they can basically just sense, like, they could sense that there is blessed. They could sense that someone is blessed. They could sense witchcraft. They could sense this or that, which is weird because I know a lot of people can jump to conclusions allegedly, but some people out there have been right a lot of times before, and they know this because they know it by name or they know it by word or sound or sight, and they've seen it before. Or they could come from family histories of this or that. I know people who have told them to see signs as well, because signs can be shown, but some people could just sense this because they knew. Or sometimes it's literally just even the last name that gives it away. Yeah, we also have, I don't know the name of this kind of empath, I just know it's a thing, but it might work sometimes, not others. There are also battle empaths. Let's call them battle empaths, because these people can sense attacks incoming. So, like, some of these people might sense reflexes, yes, or reactions. Some people could sense reactions, but in these battles, but some of these people can sense battle things to happen. It reminds me of that Sherlock Holmes, but he can see battles that have happened, or he can just put it together because he's like, footprint here, thing is here, cut here, but yeah. So battle empaths can basically, they can sense a battle going or incoming or incoming, kind of like sense battles happening or not. You can sense attacks incoming. You actually have some people who can sense weapons themselves. So some people can just sense that there's a danger. Some people can literally just sense that someone's got a gun or a weapon without, supernaturally being able to smell it or know it or this that, which is pretty cool. And not like a shark with the little fin, like the fins and stuff being like all wide-eyed, and I can sense it because I'm a shark. But yeah. Oh yes, there's certain empaths that can sense deceit or manipulation in someone. Some people can do it because they can recognize the signs because they're just so used to being around it, or they have been manipulated themselves or manipulated themselves in the past, so they can see the signs and they could recognize these actions or things. Again, if a bee can hear the other bees around them and they're constantly connected to the queen, although the royal bees live for longer than the non-royal bees, so, or if a vampire bat can sense the blood and from their prey or this or that, it's not really honestly too far-fetched to think that if it occurs naturally on this planet, why can't, humans can probably already innately do it a little bit. For someone to connect with the color occurs spiritual empaths, maybe as I said before, able to sense energies. Oh yeah, spiritual empaths are also said to be able to sense like auras and stuff as well as energies. I played a game, Life is Strange, I can't remember which one, but there was a lady on there who said she was an empath because she could see auras. I think you're an aura reader, not an aura empath. She thought she was an empath, but she was a reader. There's supposed to be dream empaths as well, but I don't know if that's just dreamwalkers with empathy abilities, because dreamwalking is scary. Honestly, I did a little bit as a child. I don't know how or why, but it was a little bit differently. We have time empaths. Time empaths are able to have time sensors, essentially. They just got all these kind of crazy time sensors. Some versions of this that say they could even perceive something that hadn't been done or said as well, and some of these people might think they're telepaths, and sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. I've heard of like rumors of some people like this or that kind of walking around like they think they have to get aggressive to use telepathy, but that's if they're time sensitive. That just means they cut someone and force them to tell the truth, and then they didn't torture them, so they hurt the fact that they would have said it because they would have gone psychotic and shot someone. I don't know why I said pain empaths, because that's not pain empath, path empaths. I'm calling these path empaths because it's just people who can sense someone's actions and where it may end up, or where it may lead, or where it may go. Sure, some of us can recognize these signs from the past as well, and we're experienced, skilled, amazing individuals. But some beings can just naturally look at someone. They're like, I can see that you've been hurt. I can see that someone's hurt you. I can see that you've hurt someone. I can see that you're going here or there, and it's going to end up here or there. And they can just sense someone on the path they're on and where they might end up because of it. Which is interesting, and it's quite scary because some beings might undoubtedly know these things, because like people could say they're crazy or say they're psychotic, which is also in line with the I was gonna say here the virtuous empaths, or the empaths of virtues, as virtues, but yeah. But yeah, like people could innately say these people are crazy. They could try to drug them and block out natural blessings in life, which scares me if they have pills that can actually block out blessings and gifts that's supposed to happen, because that's quite a horrid thing. But if someone's known this and seen this their whole life, and they even get people to admit things, or they just somehow know things they shouldn't, maybe some of these people do have these blessings or gifts and abilities in life that they're supposed to go forward and help someone. I've heard of a lot of cases of things of people thinking that, this person must be mine, this must be mine, but they're their own person sent there. And one of the things they've actually been doing is like looking at everyone around them, watching and looking into the situation, and people think, I can do what I want with you, you're mine, or they think it's the same, or they think it's theirs, but it's not. This person's there to look at all these people around them. They could be there to evaluate everyone. They could be there to make a better or worse path option. They could be there to see what needs seeing. But maybe they are, maybe they aren't. You never know. Like, it's a weird. I can't really explain it because there's too many different words. But maybe they know, maybe you don't. But if these things undeniably happen and it makes sense, then maybe you need to start looking at the reality of it. Like, I'm not just crazy. I am psychic. As much as I didn't want to be, or didn't ask to, I just was. And I don't think these people should be scorned or made to feel different or crazy just because they are different, and because they are born different. They're unique, they're special, and they need to be guided and nurtured into being better beings in the future and path, because just because something is spiritually gifted if it's born doesn't mean it has to go down the right or the same path. So they need to know right, they need to know wrong, they need to know action, they need to know punishment, they need to know consequence, they need to know reward, they need to know love, they need to know things anything would need to know to be grown and nurtured. But don't doubt what you know to be true, because if you've seen it before and you might not realize how much you know, you could learn to see and do it, express it, and live it, and get it out. And try not to suppress things too much, because in certain situations, suppression makes it go boom. Yeah. But yeah. It's kind of like the saying, if someone is truly psychic, or truly able to see things beforehand, how powerful could simply putting your hand out into a stream of wind or into the wind be? You know, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a riddle or if it's the same. Some of us have to figure it out on our own, but some of us realize and know, and some of us don't. But, yeah. It's kind of interesting. It was just like a little god that went on for half an hour. That's so long. Look, I finally cleaned my room, and it looks messy because I've got that all over there. And my like washing basket got full again because I've been wearing so many hoodies to have my Uggy coldness. Wait, hoodies aren't Uggs. Okay, well, anyway, peace. Bye.